So same home that I'm scheduled to close on Friday for, and just popped in my head is so my property management has uh, they're waiting to get pictures, of the interior of the home. It's pretty well rent ready, and got an email that said, as soon as we can get in, get pics. But it sounds like need to get those before listing the home or whatever, and things like that. And so in my head, I'm thinking like, shouldn't this be being taken care of prior to close? And uh, one to respond and say like, hey, I'd like to go ahead and get this stuff done. What's the timeline of having your home, especially a turnkey home, rent ready? Like, what are your
Yeah.
expectations for that? I was thinking it needs to be done like ready to go at close.
Right. Yeah. My general process is I close, we send cleaners in there and they clean everything. And then from there, we get pictures and then we list.
Okay.
Now, if you want to, you can have somebody go in there and take pictures ahead of time. They just need to have the ability to actually get in the house. Right. So if there's a lockbox on it, that's fine. You just need a code. If it's a realtor lockbox and it's Bluetooth accessible and whatnot, that might be a little bit, your realtor needs to show up. The risk to doing that from the realtor's perspective is, or the property managers, is setting them in and paying, say, $200 for professional photos. And then, whoops, this fell through. This deal fell through. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So what you might just say is, hey, if the deal falls through for some reason, I'll pay you for those photos. So essentially you taking on that risk. But I would talk with your property manager and just say, hey, I'm motivated to get this rented out as soon as humanly possible. And so can we get somebody in there before close in order to just take pictures? Or are we going to be taking pictures of, some dusty area, and it's not actually going to look really, really good, because, you don't want to throw somebody in there clean and then take pictures and then the deal not go through. Right. So it depends on the amount of confidence that you have in the deal. I have done deals before. I bought turnkey and I did rehab on it. So it was probably 90% done, but there were some back panels on the back of the house that needed work. There was some plumbing that we found that needed work. And I did probably $5,500 worth of repairs before I formally closed on the property. And really the purpose of that was twofold. One was I wanted to move as fast as possible, and I didn't want to waste time when I was trying to lease it, after close.
Mm-hmm.
The other was the appraiser gave the condition evaluation of the property a C4. There's five or six conditions. Condition one being like brand new, awesome, and C6 or C5 being this is not livable. An inspector wants at least, or a lender wants at least a C3 and above or a C4 and above. Anyway, there's a limit that they say, hey, we can't lend on this because it's not a turnkey property, like it's not livable. So one of the ways we're protecting ourselves from the lending perspective is we need cash coming in the door. You need to be able to rent this out, and if it's not in livable condition, we can't be protected in that way, right? So that's one way that they protect themselves. And it came back a little bit low because there were a few things that needed to be done, primarily on the outside. But so I tried to argue and be like, look, somebody can move into this. Like, this is habitable. Like, you're being a little bit difficult. And so what I ended up doing was I agreed with the seller. They signed an additional addendum saying, one, I can do the work before close. And two, if this contract doesn't go through for some reason, whether it's yours or mine, you pay me back for that work. All right. And I want it to be the greater of either the cost of the work or the difference between my contract and the future contract you get. For example, if I put $5,000 into this and then they sell it for $10,000 more, they realize like, oh man, that's all the work we didn't really want to do. Right. So then they just say, oh, we can't do this contract. Right. And then they go sell it for $20,000 more. I want $20,000 because I put that work in. Mm. Right. And so that's the addendum that I added on there. And essentially I just said, hey, I'm just trying to protect myself in case, this falls through. And then I just donated you $5,500. Like, I'm a nice guy. I'm not that nice though. You know what I mean? So that's what I will do. But you can do work on the property ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.